After an accident at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on Sunday, Bubba Wallace tried to fight with NASCAR champion Kyle Larson, who also gathered the title contestant Christopher Bell. Wallace took 29 rounds and there was a clear fast car in the opening race of the third round of the playoffs. Wallace was not entitled to playoffs and Larson was eliminated last week. The incident began when Larson tried to throw a rust of 3 widths. Kevin Harvick fell from the group, and Larson shifted the track against Wallace. Wallace used Larson Chevrolet to push Wallace's Toyota to the wall when he didn't get up to give Larson any room. Kyle Larson hits Bubba Wallace. Wallace turns it and includes #NASCAR Playoffs driver Christopher Bell. pic.twitter.com/TLXCV5T6Q, NASCAR, NASCARON, at NBC October 16, 2022. Wallace then returned from the track, followed Larson's car to the apron, and deliberately attributed him to retaliation. This returned to Bell, who won Larson to win an automatic dock in 8 rounds in Charlotte last Sunday, and ended Bell's race. Bubba Wallace is not satisfied with Kyle Larson. After some debris it pushes and pushes. #NASCAR pic.twitter.com/AAN0IDRJP, NASCAR, NASCARON, on NBC, NASCARON, October 16, 2022. Wallace climbed out of his car and walked towards Larson. Wallace was shouting before he went to Larson and immediately began to push the smaller driver. Larson tried to move away from him and raised his arms to block Wallace's shells several times, but Wallace, a NASCAR security employee, made more than one shot before separating the two. Wallace claimed that he did not deliberately ruin Larson, but both Larson and Bell saw him as a clear retaliation. NASCAR may punish Wallace if he believes he deliberately retaliate. "I'm smart enough to know how easily these cars are broken, so when you pushed me into the fence, the steering wheel went," said. Larson wanted to make 3 wide to Veb, but I never cleaned me and I don't remove it. I know I'm a little new to run before, but I'm not lifting. I wasn't even at a point to lift, and he never lifted it, and now we're insignificant. When he started to push him, he asked Larson what message he was trying to send. Wallace said, "He knows." Wallace, "He knows what he's doing. He wanted to question what I was doing and never cleaned me," said. And when it comes to Bell's collateral damage? Sports, Wallace, a Toyota driver like Bell, shrugged with shoulder. Bubba Wallace, number 4523XI Racing Moneyline Toyota, Kyle Larson, number 5 Hendrick Motorsports HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, NASCAR Cup Series Playoff .400 during October 16, 2022, 16 after 16 years. In October 2022. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Through Larry Placido/Icon Sportswire. Larson, who hit the wall in Charlotte last week to contribute to the elimination of playoff, said Wallace was not surprised that he tied him. "Obviously I made a move, I stayed low, I loosened and chased a little," said. "He came to my right front and took him firmly and on the wall. I knew he was going to retaliate. There was a reason to be crazy, but the race was not over until retaliation." He continued, "That's it. Only aggression turned into disappointment and retaliated." He thought that Wallace's collapse of Larson was inappropriate, considering how much NASCAR was under the examination of the next gen car. Alex Bowman, Larson's teammate at Hendrick Motorsports, went out for a third race with a tremor and Kurt Busch had to get away after the July shake. "With everything that has been here recently, with head injuries, I don't think it's the right thing to do," said. "I'm sure that when everything goes, he'll know that he's made a mistake in the retaliation section, and I'm sure he'll think about it twice next time." He also said that Wallace expects Wallace to be ready to fight when he approached his collapsed car. "I saw him walking, so I thought he'd do something," Larson said. "He had the right to be sad. I prefer him to do this rather than tearing our cars in a dangerous way." Bell, which will probably fall on Sunday and will probably fall in the playoff ranking of the 34th score, said, "We got the short end of the bar with Larson and Wallace migration. "This is disappointing because our performance can compete for the championship and does not seem to appear," he said.